Good evening, everyone. It is 10:59 p.m. We're right on the dot when it's about ready to turn to 11 o'clock at night. This is a late night. Holy cow. And I am doing this now. I've been actually standing down here trying to prepare for this broadcast for the past 2 hours. And I was trying to think of how can I start this thing off? What can I do? Can I put on another pair of shades and try to be goofy? I have no idea. I'll be frank with you. I'm tired. If you're not tired, awesome. Let's wake up. Well, I'm telling myself to wake up, not you, if you're not tired, because supposedly you're not tired. Anyways, enough of that. We are here in this episode to answer the question, can nutrition help me with panic attacks, anxiety, and depression? Well, you know what? I got some ideas. I got some thoughts, and I even have some messages from a doctor who has some thoughts on that from his own professional advice. But what I can share with you from my profession is data and also what people are searching for on Google. When people search on Google, they search with their minds, with their hearts, things that come to their thoughts, or, well, things that they are in need of, things that they're in want of. And they also turn to Dr. Google for all the answers that they need. And data is collected on that as to what people search for and how they react. I'm a Google partner. And so, but what I'm going to be pulling up on here as far as data goes is free and available for anyone to look on up. But you will be amazed by some of these numbers that I'm going to show you. And then we're going to go ahead and jump right into nutrition. Before I go ahead and continue on, we need to run that beautiful intro. I'm David Pearson, and this is In Their Pursuit. Let's get started. I'd like to thank you guys for coming on and for joining me for this episode. This is such a wonderful opportunity for me to go ahead and do this. If you are watching live and not listening to my podcast, I'm actually showing you the screens once again. I got my camera set up right behind me, showing my whole setup. This isn't necessarily to say, hey, look at my cool stuff right here. I mean, I stare at this stuff to do my job every day. This is how serious I am with Google paid search advertising. And not just that, this is just how serious I am coming to you guys, because I just worked off of the 2 monitors, but now I am working off of the 3. I've been working off the 3 for, well, not now. I've been doing that probably since last summer. I did some other setups, or maybe it's been about a year now. I can't recall. But either way, I did that just for the sake of also broadcasting these things live. And that is a huge challenge. Before I move on, I'd like to give a special shout out and thanks to Spotify. Spotify is allowing me to be able to do this podcast through a website that they had built called anchor.fm. It is distributing my podcast to all the major podcast carriers out there. And of course, anyone else that I choose on the side. But most likely, if your phone is an Android or an iPhone, you are going to pick up my podcast. Just go ahead and open up the phone, look up David Pearson with In the Pursuit, or In the Pursuit with David Pearson, or even just my name, David Pearson. You'll be able to find it. I'm not getting paid for this at all. I'm just doing a special shout out and thank you to Spotify for this. And also, I'd like to do a special announcement here. I have added one more streaming platform to the live feed. So I've been streaming live on Facebook. I've been streaming live on YouTube. And now I am streaming live on Twitch. I mean, Dave, what are you doing on Twitch? Twitch is a gaming platform. It's not for you. Well, maybe it is. When I went on Twitch, Twitch, that platform is funny. It is a gaming platform, but they have other categories as well for podcasters, news, and amazingly some pretty well thought out, some ASMR and some unwanted ASMR. I I don't fully understand ASMR, but we're not going there. But I do like to joke about that. Anyways, welcome Twitch. If anyone is watching me from there, fantastic. But we're giving this a shout out, or we're giving this a shot, a try. See, this is how late it is. What time is it now? 11:05 p.m. and I haven't even gotten to the main subject. Let me go ahead and stop messing about and get right on to this. Uh, so I'm just going to do a shout out to a commenter. Her name is Susan. If you want to see what she's posted as far as her comments go, you can go ahead and do that there. But she was asking questions about panic attacks, anxiety, depression, and PTSD, especially with a previous video that I did. And she was wondering if some nutritional supplements that I was recommending could even help out with that. Frankly, I don't know. You have to test it out. But I do have another idea on something that can help. But then, yet, just a reminder, I'm not a doctor. My profession is marketing. I'm not here to really sell you on certain brand names of nutrition. Not yet. When I nail this stuff on down, I will only expect the high quality stuff. Or I'll only share the high quality stuff here because I want to take the high quality stuff and take the stuff that works too. But anyways, I'm sharing my life with you because I'm hoping it will help you out. I've ran into challenges in my life. You can watch my previous videos and my other listen to my other podcasts, and you will know why I want to do this, because I have learned the hard way that there are many doctors out there that are not helpful when it comes to proper nutrition, proper diet, and proper treatment when it comes to certain conditions, especially dealing with the brain. Mine was post-concussive syndrome, aka traumatic brain injury or minor traumatic brain injury. But in this case, this can be good for any everyday use in everyday living, kind of way. Gosh dang it, Dave, wake up. You see, I know you always wanted to come onto a podcast, and about every 2 to 5 minutes, you listen to Dave, wake up. Just wake up because it is so late at night. Why didn't you do this the next day? Because you know why? I went to a networking event tonight and a dude fired me up. I've been thinking about doing this podcast for a little bit of time, and a dude fired me up by bringing up the name of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins. He's sitting there sharing his grand story about how he came about his present company that he had bought into, and that is a family business, the challenges that he faces and what he enjoys and loves, which is fantastic. And then he brought up Tony Robbins, wishing he could have his energy, his stamina, and to be able to really just go out there and set the world on fire like Tony Robbins. And you know what I did when he said that? I was like, Dave, you little prick, you had to open up your mouth to that man. Well, I don't know if I'm a little prick for that, but I did. I looked right at him and I said, you can have that energy of Tony Robbins. All you need is appropriate nutrition and exercise, and you can do it. That's what he does. And he's on a sleep schedule. But, well, I don't know how well he took that in the back of his head, but just from personal experience, look, I'm not the greatest example with nutrition. I'm trying my darnest. I've even had a couple setbacks with back injuries from trying to work out all the time. So I'm trying to get that worked out. But when I was fully focused on diet, nutrition, and could really just fully engage myself in exercise, I felt an energy, an overwhelming power, a hyperactive mind like I have never been able to feel before in my life. Now I am, um, even though I have a hurt back, it doesn't keep me from standing. It doesn't keep me from really still doing some workouts of the upper body and does not stop me from doing proper nutrition. So you could still see some effects of that as to how I'm on fire with that. But that dude set me on fire on this, and I just got determined. It's like, that's it. This is getting done tonight. All right. Now I'm going to share with you a story about me first. When it comes to medication, and I was even thinking about this too. I was having difficulties in my early to mid 20s. I dated a girl. I was head over heels for her, but she was not head over heels for me. But it was a pretty confusing situation for me. I mean, she always led me on, and we were boyfriend and girlfriend. We called ourselves that. But she did a lot of things behind my back. Now, we had a lot of arguments. I'm not going into the details of what this relationship or what the details of the relationship was like there, but for the short story, we had arguments. I ended up crying a lot at night because of some things as to what she would make me think. I would try to vent out to some friends and family, and then she would come back and question me and second guess myself every time. Now, put that off on the side. Once when she moved away, I was still setting things on up, and she was still encouraging me to even go and follow her too. And we had a real nasty breakup. And of course, it was her call. I knew what was going on, but it left me into a depressed state that I couldn't control. On top of that, I had anxiety that I was dealing with, and I did not know how to deal with it properly at that time. Not even when I was in my early 30s. But even at this time, I didn't know how to do it. So I went to the doctors with the thought, okay, maybe there's something that can change my life. Maybe there's a medication that can help. I don't know. I did not think of antidepressants on this. I just thought, I am having panic attacks a lot. I'm having anxiety. I need to get this thing under control so that way I could fully focus with work and get on with life. So I went to the doctors. He gave me a prescription. One to see a counselor. I'm like, okay. And the other one to take some medication. And he said that the same medication that they prescribe for depression is what they use for anxiety. Like, okay, I can give that a try. And so I did. And I will tell you what, I felt nothing, absolutely nothing after I started taking the things. And my whole personality was changing. No one recognized me. And even when I talked to my parents, they show their concern. I didn't care. But they didn't really know what was going on. And then my father was trying to figure out what was going on with me. When he figured it out that I was on antidepressants, he was flipping out. He didn't know how to handle the situation or address it. And I don't blame him, because geez, here he is, his son in his early to mid 20s is completely changing his personality and completely devoid of feeling. And I'll tell you what, it did not eliminate. No, that would be wrong. That would be wrong for me to say. I went from feeling all the emotions, all the anxiety, all the heartaches, all of that, all the joy, all the happiness, everything was gone when I was on that stuff. I was on it for 3 months, and I got very tired of taking it. And so I just stopped. It got my feelings back. And I went to go hit the gym, got a membership at 24 Hour Fitness, hit the gym, and it was making me feel better just by exercise alone. And I did not even give a second thought about my nutrition. I was drinking a lot of Diet Coke at that time too. Excuse me. So that I know from that experience. Next, after my car accident, several months after my car accident, there's another doctor who got me hooked on pain meds because it was the only way that he can think of to help me get through my head injury. when I went to go and express them. You couldn't see scars or anything on my head, but it was the brain that was literally rattled from that car accident. So he prescribed me pain medication, told me that the pain medication was going to work, which, well, it did for a short period of time. But then, yet, he said it's non harmful, it's non addictive. If you want to stop, stop it. Great. When I stop it, I would get the shakes, my whole body would heat on up, and I would be in pain from head to toe trying to get off of that. And I didn't know how to. I had to get help from a doctor. The first doctor, this is after I moved while still on that medication. The first doctor I saw treated me like a druggie from the streets and was just going to make me stop taking that immediately, but didn't tell me the harmful side effects of it. But she was going to put me in a pain center. Like, I don't need a pain center. I just need guidance on how to get off of this or keep it filled until I can get to um, the head clinic or cognitive FX, where they were going to treat me properly for my injury. And so we did that. You can hear the rest of the story in other podcasts here, but here's a quick thing right there. She also prescribed me antidepressants. She said, you take this, it will help you get off this medication too. So I started doing that. This was the worst antidepressant that I was ever on. And I told her I did not want to be on antidepressants. I already had experience with that before, never went to touch it again, but she said this is the only way that can help you get off of it. So I took it immediately. Not only did I feel void of feeling, I felt dead inside. Is even saying feeling the appropriate word? How about this? I felt like I can go and, just for the sake of not getting censored from companies, I felt like I can go and unalive anyone and get away with it. I felt dark and evil inside. That's what I felt. It took all feeling away, but it left me feeling dark and evil. Now, please do not get me wrong. These are my personal stories and my personal experience with that. There are some people who probably do have a strong need for these medications that should, but there is something that is phenomenal. People are trained here in the United States, especially, to go and seek medicine treatment first and foremost, above anything else. Get medication, get the pill, it will fix it. Now we get the subliminal, not the subliminal, I don't need to be goofy like that. Okay. Now we get these little hints of messages here and there. Sure, try diet, but not too much of it. We get more educated through television commercials, through doctors, on the best use of medications. It is ingrained in the American brain. And I know that if you're to go and visit some other countries, medicine is not their first option to treat things. But here in the United States, it is. Let me show you some data now. What I got here on my screen is I am opening up a website called Google Trends, trends.google.com. You can jump on in here. This is what I use to, well, do some of my research on, to see what the population is looking for as far as what keyword research goes for my clients. See, when I do Google paid search advertising, I do it with an objective to increase customers for my clients. So I have to engage customers from point A to point Z, right from the very beginning of the ad, right to the point to where they become a lead or an acquired customer for my clients. And it all starts with the ad. Now, in order to get an ad targeted appropriately, you need to know what people are thinking. And Google is a wonderful tool to figure that out, because people go to Dr. Google about their health concerns, their mental problems, and practically about anything else that you can think of. They express their emotions on Google. Google can probably tell you a bigger story about one individual, then that one individual can tell you about them. That's how much data Google has on you. Has on me too. I'm not saying that I'm void of this. So here we go. Trends. I'm going to run some keywords here. I have a list, and I want to be able to go ahead and show you. First keyword, and we're going to be doing comparisons. Let's look up, see what kind of trends we're looking at. X. There we go. We have a wonderful blue line just sitting right up there on the screen. We're going to do another comparison. Add an additional word to it. We're going to do action. Now look at the difference of that blue line now. Does it look so jaggedy? It looks a little bit more flat than where it was before. This is getting interesting. Now we have depression that has taken a big leap. I'm going to add another one, anxiety. And we are actually looking at actual search results that people have searched within the past 12 months. You can see that on the screen. And now anxiety is a more popular term than depression. We're getting somewhere. Let's look up one more. PTSD. PTSD just comes a little bit above panic attack, but it's not as big as depression or anxiety. Now that's just a little taste. I'm not done. Let's look up depression medication. Okay. Let's do a comparison. Nutrition. Depression nutrition is the red line. Depression medication is the blue line. To remind you, this is what the public is searching for on Google in the past 12 months. Now, I'm going to switch this around. Nutrition, treat, depression. Be a little bit more fair on the thought processes of people, what they're or what people are searching for, what the trends are. That is even a lower line than the depression nutrition. The number one search on here is depression medication. Why? Because as I scroll on down, these search results are coming from the United States. It is ingrained in the American brain to turn to medicine first and foremost, above nutrition. Do you get it? Do you see it? Scroll down a little bit more. Let's see where these interests are. So that blue line, or that blue states right here that we're looking at, is depression medication. We even got Hawaii right there. Alaska's all grayed out. Who cares about Alaska? But we got Hawaii. I'm teasing Alaska. If anyone's from Alaska watching, you're cool. Okay. All right. Enough with the puns. Depression medication. So depression medication is definitely very popular across the United States, and you see it in most of these states. But let's look around nutrition and depression. It comes from the three most health conscious states in our country: California, Texas, and Florida. I'm not surprised, quite literally, on that. But for everyone else, And of course, that's all the data that Google's delivering. We don't have enough data on Google Trends to do this. Now, if I were to pull up Google Ads, I can do some additional keyword research on this, and I can pull up a little bit more in-depth details and additional keywords to look on up in relation to this. But I will tell you what, this is pretty darn close to what the American people are looking up on here. It's ingrained in the brain. Medicine first, nutrition last. Drink your Diet Coke before you have that vitamin C, if you do. Has anyone ever heard of vitamin D actually helping the body fight viruses? Just a thought, random thought, anyways. Let's move on from there. Now that we got the data, I want to get something else set on up to share with you. And I'm going to be turning to a doctor, Dr. Amen. I talked about him in the last in my last podcast. I actually have 3 video clips. One, he is addressing medication and what his thought process is behind that. He's actually very encouraging of nutrition because this guy is known as the brain doctor. I like a lot of the things. That's what he says. It's right on par with a lot of research that I've done myself. And since I have found that, I am just following this guy like a hawk. So let's go ahead and get that pulled on up, and I am getting that prepped up here for you. I'm going to keep an eye on my computer too, since this is live, and it's been a while since I've done audio sharing from my computer to you. I ran a couple of tests. I'm hoping this works out, but if this doesn't, I will be able to see it, and may have to start over, or I just may have to explain things a little bit more. These 3 videos I picked up, they're from TikTok. But first one here, Dr. Amen. The topic is, are there alternatives to anti-anxiety medication like Xanax and Clonopin? Here's what he has to say. So, are there before you let anyone prescribe a thing? So, are there Sorry, you guys. I'm going to keep this going. Before you let anyone prescribe a benzo to Clonopin, Xanax, Ativan, Valium, really work with over anxiety, hypnosis, meditation, diaphragmatic breathing, supplements like GABA, magnesium, theanine, laura. There are so many other things to do. Now, none of those things work. Then the anti-anxiety medicines I like are things like U-Star or gabapentin. I don't ever want to start a problem, right? You don't want to fix a problem by starting a problem that you can't solve. So, one of the things that he pointed out in there is theanine. I hope I said that right. One of those 2 words has to be right there. But that can definitely make a difference. It's something that I've tried, and every once in a while I will go ahead and do that myself as far as nutrition goes. But here it is coming from a doctor's mouth that he wants to look to solve a problem first before prescribing any kind of medication, because these medications are definitely very strong. And just like what he says, you can make the problem worse. When I was on medication, I felt like I was getting worse instead of getting better. And that's the thing. So this is so ingrained into our heads. We turn to medicine first. But if you turn to nutrition first, if you find out what appropriate foods to eat or what appropriate supplements to eat, or not eat, but to take in, it can solve a lot of problems. And on top of that, exercise, proper sleep schedule. Talk about sleep schedule. Let's see, 11:28. But you get the idea. This is really taking care of yourself and putting your own effort in first before jumping onto these nutritional supplements. Or not these nutritional supplements, before jumping on to medication. Forgive me for keep on fumbling on my words on that. Let's go ahead and jump to the next video. Oh. Now here, he is offering additional solutions to what you can do to help boost your mood. And this is a two-parter video here. So we'll go ahead and start with this one.
So what are natural ways to help depression? Here at Amen Clinic, we're always thinking, first do no harm, use the least toxic, most effective ways to help depression. And for someone who's depressed, head to head against exercise.
Exercise.
Start walking like you're late for 45 minutes, 4 to 7 times a week. I walk 7 days a week. Head to head against antidepressants in a study from New Zealand. Omega-3 fatty acids were found to be equally effective. Head to head against antidepressants, learning how to not believe every stupid thing you think, I call it killing the ants, the automatic negative thoughts, has been found to be helpful. Now,
that's part one. We're jumping on to part two. Yeah, it cuts off right on the conversation here, but we're picking right up on that. Here we go.
If you're depressed, you absolutely get your thyroid, your testosterone level, your blood sugar, because if they're not healthy, if they're not optimal, your mood is going to suck. I also love saffron. The spice saffron has actually been found in 24 randomized controlled trials to be equally effective antidepressant to boost your mood. You don't have to just go to an antidepressant first. Yeah, if all the natural things don't work, take an antidepressant. But you want to know what your brain looks like ahead of time, so you're not.
I'm going to bring the video back here. For those of you that are watching, if you look behind his head there, those are literal brain scans. Those brain scans come from a functional MRI or fMRI, or what is also known as an FNCI scan. I've had one of those done to my brain when I went in for my initial treatment from my post-concussive injury, or from my post-concussive syndromes from my minor traumatic brain injury. They call it minor. It felt like a pretty big deal for me. But anyways, I do not have such a colorful map to my brain. He has colorful maps to his brains, and I love it how he has the depiction right there. He has been able to show people what their brains look like on different kinds of medications, even taking, smoking some MJ. I'm just going to say that, leave it at that. And on top of that, the state of their head, finding out that there's something actually physically wrong with the brain when they're going through some depression or anxiety or different things in their life. So please take note to what what Dr. Amen has said here, and definitely what I am sharing here. Not everything is also curable through medication. He says, okay, yeah, take an antidepressant. He's offering, before taking the antidepressant there for mood boosters, he was recommending saffron. I never tried saffron. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually go ahead and give that a try. But personally, I don't need to try it because I don't feel like I have an issue to where I have to try it. But just out of curiosity to see if it does anything else for me, see if it does give me much better mood than where I'm at now. Terrific. I'll go ahead and do that. So this is definitely terrific information as to what he's sharing. Now, there is one more thing that he did not mention, but I am taking this. And I don't know if this is going to be helpful for you or not. It's just a matter of trying. And sitting right here on my desk, I'm showing here, while this, I'm showing it here. Once again, this is not a sponsor, but this is a supplement that I take daily, once every morning. And so this is taurine. I'm taking the from the Now brand, double strength taurine, 1000 milligrams. And just to go ahead and give the camera a closer look right there, there it is, taurine. I take that once a day. This stuff right here actually gives support to the nervous system and helps boost nervous system health. I take that because I recognize I wasn't taking this straight, but I was taking another supplement that my nutritional therapist had recommended to me. And taurine was one of that, was one of the ingredients in the supplement that she recommended to me to take. It was among beets and other additions. But I noticed my anxiety had calmed down tremendously. I've noticed that I was more control of my feelings, more control of myself on being me. But I also noticed that there was still some anxiety sitting there and it was not all taken care of. So I tested out each one of the ingredients and even looked each one up. And I found taurine on there. And I went to go look it on up to see what was an appropriate dosage, what it all does. And it really does do wonders for the nervous system. One last thing before I let you go. I'm going to show you how easy this is to look things on up. I'm a Google partner. It's part of my business. It's my life. I eat, drink, breathe this. Okay, I don't eat, drink, and breathe this stuff. But I do see it. I consume it with my eyes, and I help my customers with it. So Google is my first thing to turn to because of the massive amount of information that they have. I know some of the people who follow me say, hey, they're one of the scary people. You know what? That's a conversation for another day and another time. But Google, in this case, Dr. Google, which doctors like to be sarcastic about, but there is really good information about. Just look up a supplement just like that in Google. More information is becoming available within the search itself. And you probably have noticed this there, but it is becoming more available from websites. They're offering information first and link to that information last. So they're trying to make it more easy, more accessible to you. And this is good stuff. This first paragraph that showed up is from the Mayo Clinic. It says taurine, an amino acid. There's a lot of amino acids that are good for you, especially to help with emotions, muscle development, brain development, and even flat out mood development. Well, I said emotions, mood, emotions. Yeah, you get it. You get the picture right there. I'm going to finish up here. Taurine, an amino acid important in several of the body's metabolic processes, is thought to have antioxidant properties, but little is known about the effect of long-term supplemental taurine use. All right, I gotta admit, I don't know what long-term taurine use is going to be like. I guess you can say I am kind of on that there. But anyways, information right here is widely and readily available if you're to look this stuff up. And there's videos on there. A lot of these people are pretty awesome. We got Dr. Brad Stanfield. Oh, look, muscle building dude. But there's a lot of nutritional guys on there too. That actually do this stuff for a living. Excuse me. But anyways, that's the story. That's it. What else can I add to this? If you have been on medication all your life, don't take my recommendations as to, like, when I say medications as far as antidepressants, don't look to me for advice on how to get off that stuff or that you should get off that stuff. That should be your own personal choice. That should be decided between you and your doctor. What I am trying to do is open up other avenues if you haven't tried it yet. Give it a shot if it does help. For the most part, to my understanding, supplements are pretty friendly with most medications, but still, check things out. Don't take my word for it. Test things out for yourself. But it's late. I'm going to give you a time update for me. It is 11:38 p.m. It is well past my bedtime. I should be upstairs laying in bed right now, but instead, I decided to get this one going. And like I said before, I want to do these more often and probably do these more often at night. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. And if you want to support me and show your support and keep these videos going, especially these live feeds and this podcast, like, share, and subscribe. Go to enderpursuit.com. Write me at david@enderpursuit.com. Leave comments. You can even go to anchor.fm at my podcast and leave voice messages to me. Tell me your story. Ask me questions. Get me thinking. Get me going if you want to hear more. Those are great ways to support me on this. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. I look forward to speaking to you again.